Hey, this is Srinivas Tamada, founder of Info. In this video, I'm going to discuss about how to deploy Node Express RESTful APIs into the Firebase. Basically, Firebase is offering a Firebase functions, so you can directly deploy Node application into that. So in my previous videos, I explained how to deploy, how to host your Angular application into the Firebase, but this is completely different. It is a backend thing, basically, like you can use this API endpoints to connect with the real-time database as well, or else if you have any college project or you're playing with any external URLs to handle any authentication keys, you can maintain in that. So if you look at this, you can use the same kind of concept. Like, this is about creating a RESTful APIs using MySQL. Instead of SQL, you can do it something, Google products. So this way you can implement a RESTful API and you can directly deploy into Firebase. And Firebase is offering at some 120K, the request per month, and there is a paid options as well. I would suggest for a small project you can go with a Firebase to validate something. So I think this is a Node Express, and this is a framework to create RESTful APIs, and the Node I'm going to use it. So, and let's start the project. Let me create a project called, so I created a project called Node Express Firebase. Let's go to the folder, and now you have to, let me make a big one. So you have to basically create a package.json. So it's npm init, and you can just give your package name like Node Express Firebase, and whatever you want, like your project name and the version and the description. And basically the index is, right now it's index.js, and no test commands and no git repository. And the keywords, if you want, you can give some Node and Express Firebase. And then basically this is going to create a package.json file. Yes. So now we're going to install like npm install express, and we need that. And the same way, like, and we need like npm install nodemon. This basically runs your node express, node server continuously. And we need a body parser as well. That is actually takes the post request. It's it's a middleware plugin. So body parser. Basically, we are sending a JSON inputs as a post request. So we need these three. So if you look at this got updated with the latest packages. And let's create index.js. And now you have to import all the libraries. So in my case, it's like I'm using a Express. And you have to declare the port. So basic, the port runs at 3000, and if you want, you can change it whatever you want. And then the const, and you have to initiate the express. So now I'm going to create a get call, like this is a basic one. To I'm going to give the endpoint like hello, and then there is a basic structure like response, request response, and the next. And here is the response, like send, and then, and if you want to send it like a JSON, you can change it to JSON. So now I'm going to give welcome to Firebase functions with Node Express. So this is your endpoint, like slash hello, and then app is going to listen at, and you have to point to the port, and then basically a fat arrow function. And then I'm going to give a console log to see is it running or not. So you will see that. So now onwards I'm going to use the default terminal. So let's start like node index. It's running at 3000, and let me close this and launch that localhost 3000 with hello, and you'll see the message. And basically if you do something like, if you change something to JSON, the application may break. So instead of continuously running, you can just node on index. So this way, whenever you do changes here, it automatically reflects like an Angular one. So this is basically a JSON response, and if you want, you can give a response. Yeah, this way it's going to continuously run. And so let me kill this one. So let's uh, create a post request the same way, but anyway, we are not going to use this anymore because when we do with Firebase, so there is a Firebase functionality is a little different. So meanwhile, like try to install the, and before that, go to the firebase.google.com and create an application. So you can just start with it, get started and go to the console, and you can add a project like Node Express demo. So you can create a project like this, and if you want some analytics, you can enable it, and then you can create it. I just skip the step, and basically it asks you to connect with your Google Analytics account. So once this got set up, and it will give you the instructions, so you can just directly go here and go to the functions, and then go to the get started. It will give you the instructions to do that. Once you install it, you can try that uh, Firebase tools, like the version, it'll be like this. I think this is a little small, maybe I'm going to use this one a little bigger. So, and now let's go back, and there are some instructions as well to do and deploy. We need to do a Firebase init to initialize, like how we did it for package JSON. So like, let me check again. You have to check the version ready at yep. Then like Firebase init. So basically it'll ask you to what kind of thing you want to do, and you have to use the down and up arrow and use the space button to select hosting or whatever. Right now we're going to use the functions, and hit the space and continue. Then is that an existing project or creating a new project? We already created a project, choose the existing one, and then it will pull down all the created ones. So just find out where it is. So I just selected this Node Express demo. So select that, and now we're going to use the plain JavaScript because it's a node, and there is an options for the TypeScript as well with the different ones. So let's go with that, the JavaScript, and there is, it's asking like, do you want to install node dependencies? Yes, of course, because we may add so many things in the package while developing. So that way it's going to create some dependency files here. If you look at here, there is a functions folder created in the code base, and you'll find all the information here, like what kind of offers with the free one. There is a plans, you will see. Yep, if I click on this, see, you will see the plans, and if you go here, and you'll find all the free ones as like kind of limit for the request, and after that they may charge like 0.001 cents. Make sure before testing it. And we are going to use the Firebase functions. If you look at this 125k, and after that they may charge /million. So this is pretty good. I think 0.440. Yep. Let's come back and see, and if you look at here, the many things got changed here. And if you look at this function, basically this going to point to the project and some of the default ones they're going to add. But if you look at this entire thing, they duplicated here as a functions, and the same source code we need to move it here because now it's going to work with Firebase functions. So let's copy paste this. We're not going to use this index.js anymore, so we're going to use this. And if you look at here, there is a small information here. We need to replace this with a Firebase one. So it's going to be exports.app equal to functions. So the functions is this, and dot https dot on request. So that way, entire app we are actually exporting as a Firebase functions. So if you look at here, this is the one. Let me format, and we're not going to use this, so let's drop off this. So going forward, when you do Firebase deploy, this folder only going to take it. I think you can delete these as well, node modules. We're going to use this one. So let me drop off these as well. And even this, now it's no use. Let's go to the project, but now I'm going to move it to the, I'm not going to use this. Go to the cd functions. Now let's update the package.json. I think the library is also we need to move. So let's go here and copy paste all the dependencies. Going forward, we're going to use that. So let me do npm install again here in the functions case, and then run the node index and make sure this is running at proper way. So let me run it. Yeah, it looks good. Now you can directly deploy this into the Firebase, like, make sure, like, I forgot to specify that there is a command called Firebase login. Is the basically you can log in with your Google. It takes you to the browser and gives back the token. And now everything is ready. Let's go back and like just give Firebase deploy. So when you do the Firebase deploy, you have to go back and do that because it has a configurations. Yep, some cases you will get this kind of error for the first time. Don't worry about it. You can try again with the Firebase deploy, and so it says the deployment has been completed. And let's go to your project and let's refresh the functions here. And if you look at this, and there is a small app it got created here. Let's go here and then give hello. So this is your endpoint. You can directly access this with your Node application or Angular React application. So it's directly deployed and you can see all the logs. And if you look at that, Node 8 has been deprecated and we need to change our configurations. Let's go back. I think the default one it's bringing back with Node 8 in the package.json. It's inside the functions. You change it to the 10. I don't think the Firebase is supported in the latest 12. So change it back with the 10 and let's save it and let's go back and deploy again. If you look at that, there is a node 10 got changed. Yeah, looks good. And meanwhile, like we're going to add some more methods. Let's add a post request here to improve this. And if you look at my previous article, you'll see how to create a get and post and to connect with the database, all the stuff. I think the Google is offering the real-time database as well, so maybe the next post may I cover with that. So right now, like, let's create a sample post request and see. I think we need a body person as well. Let's go back. I think it's almost like the same, and it's changing get to post, and let's give like some simple one like email validate, and then the same. This is going to be a JSON response. Let's decide after that. Every post request need, like, you have to import the JSON parser, and there is type of things we need to kind of JSON we're going to take. So basically, like, you will access the request data at like request.body. So now based on this, the app will understand this JSON inputs. Let's check. Basically, we're going to take only email as a input with the JSON. Like, so I'm going to check that post data dot email if this available, like, and then give response.json and do something here. Maybe we need to validate that, and else I think you can give rest.status. You can send it back the status as a 500, saying that maybe it's like status, I'm going to give like a wrong request input. So basically, if you're not sending as an email, then it's going to go back here. So let's create the same status like this here as well, and but this is going to be a status like true or false. For this, like, I'm going to install a small plugin called email validator. Let's install cd functions npm install email. It's a simple regular expression I think this plugin has, so it will just validate it is email or not. So I just imported that, and I'm going to declaring that, and then I'm going to use that method called validator dot validate, and then just give the post data dot email. So this basically gives back as the like true or false. So this is the post method, and I think we change back to the 10 and everything looks good. And now Firebase deploy, and meanwhile if you want to test this, we simply run like node-mon and before deploying into the Firebase. It's running at 3000. Let's go to the port. This is the Postman tool you can download. It's called Postman. It's the most popular Chrome extension, but now it is a software. They made it so you can test your request and responses here, like HTTP and the local host. It'll be 3000, and this is not a get, so the post email validate, and then the body I'm just going to give as a raw, and type is JSON. Let's type like email and then just give the basic value like Srinivas 9lessons.info, and let's test it, and it's giving back as true. And if I'm giving some plain text, and then it is going to be a false, and if I'm giving some wrong input like address and then send it, yeah, it's a wrong input. Looks good, and this good. Before deploying it, I think we need to add some more logs to see, like there is to see, because you can track all the events, the same thing to see, like there is an info. You can see that get call, get hello success. The same way you can add it like here, like email validate the post, and you can track this as like a warning, kind of like wrong input. This is just for like to track things, and this is also, anyway, we added the console info to see port is running or not. So we added all the logs as well, and save it, and let's kill this one and just go back and Firebase deploy. Yep, now this got completed, and let's go here, and the error message is gone. Now it is 10, and now we can test the post request. Let's open the logs and see. Let's open this. Let's make it live now and go back here and stuff. This local hosting, I'm just changing the endpoint given by the Firebase. The same thing I'm going to try it here. It's actually connecting to the Firebase one. See, we're getting the same response, and even this is getting to test the valid email, and it's true, and we're testing other case as well, it's false. Yep, looks good. And if you look at here, there is a new 4 logs lively uploaded. When you click that, and you see that actions we added like get success, post success and all. you see that the success, the function started, and success, all the things you can track it here. I think here is the wrong input. So yeah, that way, that's the way you can implement things. This is just an example. If you want to make a third-party apps, like to keep a secret keys to maintain a different function to handle it, instead of keeping that secret key in the directly on the UI side. So you can create a third-party API to do that. So that way this will really helpful, and make sure this only supports, and make sure read all the terms of conditions for this. It is 125K per month. After that they may charge it. This is for very tiny projects. Thanks for watching.